look around here, got a few things, and we are going to be working on getting my, uh, basically getting some cover for my soil here. One of the things that you never want to do is leave soil uncovered. It's just bad for everything across the board. So we're going to be working on getting some compost and some leaves, simply to have this covered for the winter months and to help out we spend a lot of time working on the microbes and everything. So I just want to make sure we're good there. All right. So, again, for those that don't know, my name's Ryan Howe. I come in the garden here pretty consistently, live here on YouTube. I do some videos, which you can find if you go ahead and take a look there. But I do a lot of stuff in the garden, a lot of stuff with my chickens. See them back there; they're enjoying their breakfast right now. As well as I'm a business coach, so you can see a lot of business videos if you subscribe, and I hope you earn your subscription. So let's get into it here. Like I mentioned, we are going to be working on getting this. Excuse me, let me get set up here. Got a little prep work I got to do first. We're going to be working on getting this area set up for compost. Probably throw some grass clippings on here too, as well as some leaves, simply just to have some ground cover here. One of the things that people forget about when it comes to their, or they may not know, or they forget about when it comes to soil, is that it requires, it wants to be covered. Soil doesn't want to necessarily have stuff be out in the open. The UV rays, it damages the, the bacteria that's there, but also that's one of the reasons you see, one of the reasons that you see weeds come in too, right? Because they want to grow in these areas. So to protect it from weeds, but also to protect the soil health as a whole, you want to make sure that it's covered or has something growing on it at all times. So that's the idea. That's what we're doing here. Hey girls, what's going on? You guys just hiding today? Typically my chicks are usually all around my ankles hanging out here whenever I'm here. So this is a little bit different. So we'll work through that. Okay, so in preparation here, one of the things that we've got to do is kind of clear this little pathway here, so I can bring my cart over here with my compost and my leaves and everything. So we just got to work on clearing that off. So part of that is going to be rolling this section here just up and out of the way, just so it's not there. So that's kind of going to be the big piece here. And I've got this old Bonnie, you're fine. Got my collie barking at our neighbor walking her dogs. So I got this old, one of my pumpkins, the last of my little pumpkins here. Didn't quite make her. That's okay though. We're gonna leave it out here. A lot of this stuff is gonna get cleaned up and moved into compost at some point as well too, but I don't mind them breaking down. All right, so let's get this guy up here. Now this is where I had cucumbers growing, and they were all up this entire little trellis system that I have. Now when I moved in here, these were in the backyard already, and these are clotheslines. So I basically just brought them in from that general direction, moved them over here and set them up here. So they've been really good. Nice and solid. Good spot for cucumbers to be growing. This is south behind you. So we get cucumbers in here and just kind of have them set up to do their thing. All right, cool. So there's that. Hey, what's up? Well, you guys want to come through there too? All right, we can make this where it's a little throughway for you. There you go. Let the girls kind of run amok here for a little bit while I'm doing stuff. But yeah, so we got a little bit of a cooler day out here too. I'm in northern Michigan. It's got cloud cover today. We've been dealing with a lot of sunshine and warmth lately, but then we just had our cold front come through, which has made a big difference. You can see here we had some freezing temperatures this week, a couple days ago. Actually, let me show you just so you can compare notes here. My basil plant, it's going to seed right now. Hopefully it's able to finish up, but you can see which ones got hit with the frost and which ones didn't here. It's where they just got burned. And that happens. Hey, what's up, honey? What you doing, huh? What you doing? See, so I got my chickens around right now. Come here, you. What are you doing? You troublemaker. Okay. Okay, so big piece of this here too is going to be getting this area behind us here kind of, I don't necessarily want to do any more prep on it. But I do think I'm debating today. You guys are like in real time. We're figuring this out. I think I want to move a couple of these of my trellises over. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to have them placed or not. I may able to save this for the spring, to be honest. Or I move this trellis system over there. No real reason to break it up right now. I don't think, at least. You guys good? Got my girls down there digging up stuff. So they haven't been able to get in here. Now that I've moved the trellis, they can get in there and start scratching around, which is what they want to do. So anyways, first things first, let's get over here. Let's go over into our compost leaf world. All right, we're gonna be moving a bunch of stuff here today. Nope, you guys aren't coming. Stay put. So a big part of this is going to be getting I got to get my cart, because some air in one of the tires there. It's got a slow leak, so I got to fill that thing up real quick. And then we've got that back here. You can see the leaves that are back here, and I've got my compost, amongst other things, here. So you can see we have compost. So this is what we're going to be putting out in the garden. It's not fully developed compost, but it's close enough. Again, mostly I'm just using this as a mulch to cover up the ground. So, you guys kind of see what I'm doing here. So this one in particular, we've got, I think it's this tire back here. Yeah, this one, it's got a flat in it, but I can at least get some air in it. It gives me at least a couple hours worth of air. Well, hopefully everybody's having a good day today. Things here are going well. We started up at the coffee shop this morning, got that up and running, and then got that little bit of work in front of me here to make sure that the soil is ready to go, because I think we're going to be getting closer and closer to winter time here. Like, we've already got frost happening. It's only obviously going to continue to get worse. By worse, I mean, snow eventually. All right, so let that guy air up a little bit. Sorry if that's a little loud. I apologize. There we go. Good morning, good morning. Good to see everybody making their way in. Sorry about the episode being loud today. All right, got the redhead out walking, out in pups right now. But yeah, we're gonna move a few things over. We're gonna kind of set up look at our little chicken habitat too, the one that I built for the chicks. See if maybe we can make that a little bit better for them too. They've been loving their life though. Show you guys. So we set this up for them. Good to see everyone. So we built this. Oops. We built this last time, and you can see they have found their way into the little chicken lean-to here. What you doing, honey? Huh? Here you go. So that worked out like I expected to. Actually, a little bit better than I thought. So good to see everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so this has got air in it. That's plenty. We're not going to be loading up too much. Get this back over here. Got gloves. Make sure we got gloves here. Cool, we got gloves. All right. Gotta have gloves. Yeah, some of the stuff we're gonna be dealing with is pretty gross, Compost into itself is just, ugh, right? Well, where's everybody at today? Where y'all checking in from? Good to see everybody in. Hopefully everybody has a good morning. Either has already happened or you have a good day planned to enjoy the weekend. So let's get the cart put back together. So I had this thing set up as a flatbed for some stuff I was moving. Come on now, there we go. So we need to reconfigure the trailer again to get it up. So, oh hey, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Good to positive vibes. We love positive vibes. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I come here live on mobile. I come live once we get into the later into the fall, winter when I'm in the greenhouse. It's a different setup. I actually have my full channel doing stuff there, and I do business stuff, so don't be surprised if you see that as well. So, but welcome though. Good to have you on here. Yeah, no, great. Where are you at? Positive vibes, where are you at? In the country. Where is this guy? I need this one. Oh, actually, I need this. I need two separate pieces here. Yeah, so, all right, so what we're gonna be doing here is I'm gonna kind of move you around here. First things first is we are gonna come grab a couple things here. On this first trip, I have, this needs to go in the trash. So I have from my coffee shop, I have this. I have our coffee grounds. So these are going to end up in the garden. I'm going to spread those out, just give some more goodness there, and then we're going to get this put in there, get our compost. So I'm just going to kind of load everything up. And again, this isn't like full compost. It's been here for 4 months. I haven't turned it, so it hasn't had a chance to fully compost out. I've turned it twice, I should say. So it has had a chance to break down, but not like to full, you know, people would say is the full compost, which is fine because I only want a portion of this goodness to get in here, like, because we've got all of the microbes, right? All the aerobic bacteria that are in here, the microbes, but I don't want it to fully break down either. The reason being is that this is not soil. This is going to be used as a mulch. So I like to get it where we got the bacteria doing its thing. Everyone's kind of happy, but I pull it a little early, you know, so it's not fully seasoned or prepared. So we still get the benefits of the bacteria, but more so for the mulch to cover the soil. So that's kind of the idea. So that's what we're doing here today. So we're going to do this. I'm going to dump this all over the garden. Between this one right here, I've got a whole nother one here, and then a bunch of leaves. We're just going to be hauling stuff back and forth, dumping it out there, and getting some ground cover for my soil to help it out. But you can see we got all sorts of funky stuff. Look at that. All sorts of funky stuff going, and that's good. More the better, as far as I'm concerned. Let's get as much bacterial life going in this soil as we can. All right, so this is the first one. So we're gonna leave this here. I got my little guy here. We're gonna take with us to spread stuff around. Okay, so it's the first trip of many. Making our way back and forth. And it's a real simple process. Basically making up our stuff, making sure the chickens don't run after us here. Block this off. All right. I'm gonna set you guys up here so you can watch the action instead of riding along. Hopefully, is the audio good, folks? Just want to make sure that the audio is okay. If you guys give me a thumbs up or, you know, hey, it sounds good in the chat, I'd appreciate it. It's always one of those things that always want to make sure that the audio is good. Because otherwise, you guys are just staring at middle-aged grandpa, you know, pulling a trailer isn't exactly the best, most entertaining content on the interwebs or on YouTube, you know? All right. You guys got this. There we go. Cool. Okay, so round one is done. But first things first, and you're gonna see lots of chickens coming around here in a little bit, so just FYI. We're gonna just take my coffee grounds here, right? This old moldy coffee grounds from the coffee shop. We're just gonna kind of spread them around here. This one, you guys aren't gonna take this one here. We're just gonna kind of spread these around. Just drop them all over. No real method to the madness. We're just trying to get stuff out. Big thing with your gardens and what you're trying to do, what the best known practice is to, you want to make sure you're getting plenty of like organic matter in the. Hey, what's happening, Frankie? How do I sound? Can you hear me okay? Things that you want to keep in mind when it comes to your garden is managing the soil, right? But you want to keep your organic matter is your number one. Guys, I'm working here. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you want to maintain a healthy amount of organic, matter in your soil. That's where the healthiness is of the soil. Because you got all the bacteria, right? They need stuff to eat. But you want organic matter in there. And one of the best known ways to do it is through compost. And just adding stuff back to your soil. Because what's happening during the summer months, right? The bacteria in there living their best life. They're creating stuff, right? They're doing all of their things. The plants, they're doing their thing, and it depletes the soil. And that's where, folks will go through and they augment with, fertilizer, which, yeah, here sometimes I've had to do it. It's not a big deal. You don't want to do it all the time. But you want to set it up in a way. You give your microbes the best chance to be successful. Honey, you're not helping. Like, hey, pretty. Hey, Olive, what you doing? Good walking. Good walking, Nugget. Good stuff. But you want to have as much of your replenish the organic matter, because what you did have growing in your soil got turned into plants and your vegetables. So that's part of the reason with the composting too. You can get that stuff going on, right? You get that replacement. So that's the idea. Now all of this stuff is a mixture of leaves and grass, and then vegetable matter too from the garden. So what we do is we simply compost it and save it. Try not to just let it go to waste, and then be able to come back here and cover up our soil. So that's the idea. So that's where we're at. And composting really is that simple. It's not that challenging once you get it set up and get started with it. It's really easy to do. Okay. Same lines. So we're going to transport some stuff over as well. All right, we got these green goods here. I kind of want to make sure make your way back, and this goes in the trash for the burn pile later. All right, so let's go over and get our next load, guys. What a good day out though. Like, I'm not dealing with too much. You see how overcast? It's not terribly. Oh look! Don't forget to do that, folks. All right. So you guys got hit there. Like I said, there isn't much to it. It's a simple process, composting and managing the garden. However, it takes time, it takes discipline, and you just gotta have a little bit of focus when you're doing it too. That's the big thing. Other than that, it's just labor. There's just a bunch of labor involved. Nothing too surprising there. Let's drop you guys right here. There you go. Make sure I'm in frame. Cool. Good stuff goes. And these goodies end up over here, just kind of out of the way. And then we're just going to load up our next batch here. So, oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've got a few of those subscribe signs around, gentle reminders for folks that we love that. We love that. We love subs around here. Uh, what a good week though. Hopefully I had a great week this week. Hopefully everybody did as well too. I had I'm a business coach by trade, and I got signed a new client this week. Started working with them, so that's always exciting to be able to get back in with a new client as they start their journey towards improving their business. So that's always fun. It's always a level of excitement with that you get to enjoy. And then I've had some of my seasoned clients that I've been with for a while. We are really starting to get some traction, make some positive gains there too. So that's awesome. So goodness across the board. But this is the other thing. So you guys watch all of those, like all the YouTube videos that are out there of working in the garden and things you have to do, right? Homesteading. One of the reasons I come live is so you guys can actually see what it looks like to have to, like the work involved, actually do these things. Everybody has these ideas about these gorgeous gardens and all the, making things awesome, and which is cool. But for like a lot of places, it takes a couple years to get a garden set up right to figure it out. But it also takes a lot of work, if you want to do it this way. Because everybody has visions of, yeah, man, I'd love to do composting and have this totally organic garden, etc. Well, which is important. I think it's good if you want to do that. Just understand what you're getting into. But all that being said, it is one of the more satisfying things that you can do or I do, specifically because, like I said, I grow food for my neighbors too. Neighbors and my family, for them to be able to have access to fresh goodness, and that's important to me. So that'd be one of the reasons why. All right, let's get our next batch here, next run. All right, got this here. Let you guys go. Just got my neighbors checking me out, so we're gonna bring you back over here. Out of the way, honey. Honey's one of my chickens, by the way. She always makes an appearance on every stream. They all love to be nosy about this stuff. All right, let's bring the cart over, and then we can get our next batch going. It's got a little heft to it. Man, you should see all these chickens, guys. They are all over. That's the other thing, like they're gonna love this compost because it's all like fresh goodness for them to be coming and mess around with, right? Like they're gonna be tearing it up. I'm bringing you guys a little closer for this one. A little closer. Yeah. Mind your business, girls. Mind your business. Okay. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you, honey. Honey is like a toddler at times. High maintenance chicken. So you can just imagine how much fun she is when she's brooding. She isn't. Oh, you guys finding some goodies over there? Yeah? Okay. They're finding all sorts of snacks in the compost. Now the other thing too, like that's why I have the chickens like running in the garden here. Like during the like obviously during the summer, during growing season, the chickens aren't out here. They're only really allowed in the garden after harvest is done. Everything's kind of calmed down, and I'm into the stuff that they're not going to eat. Like they don't like oh, thank you. Yeah, they don't like basil. They don't like oregano. They will eat it if I put it in their food, but they don't go after it. Same thing like the artichokes here. they don't necessarily care about artichoke. But I also don't care if I lose the artichokes because who cares? I just grew them just to kind of grow them this year, see what they look like. They're huge, they're ginormous. I couldn't get over it. But anyways, so I have the chickens running amok here too because they are doing what chickens do, and you know they're crapping everywhere. So that's extra fertilizer that we want. All right. So, all right. So let's kind of get this stuff spread out here. I know, girls, there's so much stuff here. I know, girls. It is crazy. There we go. Excuse me. Thank you. Yeah, don't get angry with me. I'm the one getting in my way. What I'm trying to do here. Now, the other... You know, I don't know. I mean, I know artichoke hearts when they're they're typically when they're seasoned. They, you know, when they are like canned and preserved, there's a little bit there. But you know, artichoke hearts usually have a pretty mellow flavor when they're fresh. So, but again, just so you guys see this here, it's just, you know, just a bunch of decomposed leaves and grass and you know, garden waste put in here. Like, you know, I've got an old cucumber, good Lord, cantaloupe, you know, husk here, doing its thing. Here we go. What a great morning. Like, this is an October morning. Don't have a lot of wind. Overcast, right? It's a little cooler out. You know, it's like 60, 55, 60 out right now. Humidity's up. And yeah, it's just nice. Nice flat. And look at the cloud deck. It's that flat, what is it, stratus clouds, I think, if I remember by meteorology correct. Somewhere Ryan Hall is either smiling or frowning and shaking his head if I got that wrong. I got it right, though. He's probably giving himself a big smile and a beard rub right now, you know? But yeah, we were just talking with my business partner today, and one of the things we were bringing up was, you know, you get to control your, you know, as much as you can control your environment and try to spread goodness where you can. And this is just a prime example of this too. Like with the garden, you know, I didn't do this garden just for me. Did this garden for my community too, because, you know, I give out a ton of stuff so we can spread some goodness around. You know, that's kind of the idea. So it's been great seeing that come to fruition. You know, it's just the work that's involved to get it done right. Now, again, while we're covering up the soil here, right, we give you guys a little look here. Come on down to chicken level so we can talk about this, because it is important, right? When you're working on, so you guys can see here, a good little demarcation line here. Sorry, I got. What you doing, guys? What you doing? All right, so here's our demarcation line. Right here's the soil. Right, and look, it's been a couple days, you know, since we really had any rain. But you can see it's good soil, but what happens when it's not covered, it immediately, or doesn't have something growing in it, it starts reverting back to this, you know, nothing really was going to want to grow here. Versus, hey, what's up, Bonnie? I got the chickens invading, so got the redhead back there. Say hi, everybody. Say hi to the redhead.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. And we're just talking about compost and what it does in the soil. So it's good stuff. Versus if I go to some other areas, like, again, where I just go over here, where I've got some mulch covering stuff, and just grab some. Right, it's had a chance to be covered. You know, see how it's staying in a ball? That's what I'm talking about. It's that little difference to where there is some moisture being retained, just a small amount, that makes all the difference for things to grow. What are you doing? Happy chickens are important. Happy chickens lay more eggs. So, but anyway, so what we're doing here, right? So now we got this line here where this is, you know, this is going to be 2 to 3 inches thick of you know, this mulchy, composty, mulchy stuff, right? You can see it's got plenty of moisture in it. If I squeeze it, you can hear it too. You guys hear that? Right? It's maintaining its moisture. That's what we want to get, and what that's going to do is the chickens. You watch them here. See how she's scratching? So what chickens do, what they're really good at, breaking up the soil, and that's going to help a lot of the nutrients, but they're going to help mix this in. So we end up with soil here, mix it up with our organic matter, and then we end up with something that's going to be in like a ball, right? And all this goodness. That's what bacteria love this, because there's all this surface area, there's all these nutrients, and then they have the other aspect as far as for the soil, for the plants in the back, and the you know, earthworms, all the beetles, everything. They're gonna be living their best life here, okay? So that's the idea. But also, what this does is it covers it. It keeps weed pressure down, right? Because weeds don't want to grow in this stuff. They don't. And so that's going to keep any new weed seeds that are on here from germinating, because it's going to be thick enough. I mean, are we still going to get weeds? Yeah, of course. And I'm not like I'm anti-weed. There you go. Not like I'm anti-weed. Weeds are important. They serve a purpose in every garden. Whatever type of weed you have grown, they're telling you what your soil needs too. So example, what I always go with is dandelions. There's this huge debate whether they're weeds or not, and I get, but as far as here in the Americas, they're an invasive weed. They're not native to America. So you can eat them. They're delicious, right? I use the leaves in salads, and it's like wherever they're growing. I actually for the dandelions that do grow, I do save them. The leaves, I use them in salads. The roots itself, but I feed them to the chickens. But what's happening with that is an example with dandelions. What they do, like they've got this big, huge, long root right down to here. What they're doing is they're actually pulling calcium. That's really one of the functions that they do, why they grow where they do. There's enough calcium in the soil, and they do really well in a low calcium environment where they go down in this taproot, big old root down here, and they pull calcium up, and they store it in their leaves, right? So they go through the system, right? They go through their life cycle. They go and they die off, and the leaves, they decompose, and now they've moved calcium from deep down in the soil, right, under a foot down, and now it's moved its way up to the surface where other plants and the microbes needed to be healthy. So they're a weed, yes, they're invasive in the area, but you know, they don't bother me when they're around. I just pull them out, feed them to the chickens, or I eat the leaves. So again, not anti-weed, but this does help with weed pressure, right? So that way you've only got growing what you want growing. What's up, honey? Yeah, you loving this? They're living their best life. They've been waiting for me to put this compost down forever. I mean, look how happy they are. Just chomping away. It's good stuff. All right, cool. All right, let's keep rolling here, guys. I've been running my jaw here for the last little bit when we should be keeping working here, right? Want to get a whole bunch of compost out today. Like, that is the idea. I can throw what in the compost as far as the dandelions or what? I guess I didn't throw that. Which part? How about dandelions or? But yeah, oh heck yeah, you can, yeah, absolutely. If it's green, you can throw anything in the compost. The thing is that you want to make sure it gets to a certain temperature, your compost, right? And to do that, you're going to need a certain mass. Let me get set up here, guys. That's a great question, Mary. That's a really good question. So I can show you over here. All right, so when it comes to compost and composting what would be weeds, i.e. your dandelions, you're going to need something that is the right, you're going to need enough like compost material to ensure you've got mass to ignite what would be the, to make enough heat to then get more bacteria to grow more, to make sure it gets hot enough, right? To kill off those weed seeds, which would include dandelion, okay? So, oh yeah, no, it's great. Trust me, I've been learning all this stuff as I go. When someone told me that about dandelions, I was like, oh, that makes sense, because they don't grow everywhere, right? They just grow in certain spots, and you'll see that with certain weeds. They're no different than your other vegetables. other plants, they like certain environments to grow. That's one of the things that they do. So when you're composting, you get one of these, you can order them, and they're designed to go into your compost bin. And you will see this little red area. That's where you want to get stuff heated up to. Okay? When it's in the red area, which is going to be over 120, you want to get hit between 130 and 145. And if you hold that for, a couple hours, it kills off all the weed seeds. It kills off a lot of stuff. It doesn't kill all diseases, but it does a bunch. I try to get as close to 160 degrees, which is way over here, by constantly turning, adding new green stuff to my compost, but make sure there's plenty of oxygen in there. And that's really what you're doing with compost, right? You're taking green matter, you're taking brown matter, which is your leaves, right? And you're putting them all in together with water, but you're managing the mixture of your fuel, which is your green matter and your brown matter, along with your water and oxygen, to make sure you have the correct bacteria growing. And I'm going to show you, and I've been saving this because I knew the stream was coming up, for aerobic bacteria versus anaerobic. Now I have over here, which I should be able to, yeah, there we go. Over here, I just dumped some green grass, right? Some fresh cut grass so I want you to look at this stuff. See how white and like powdery it is, right? It's just gross, right? And it's got this matting going on. So when you put grass, you just dump grass, right? Grass clippings and leave it. What ends up happening is it does this matting. See how I can peel it off in these sections where it all comes up in like these pieces? So that's called matting. And what that does is it doesn't allow oxygen to get in there. So anaerobic bacteria, right? Bacteria that don't thrive in oxygen environments, they set up shop in there, and those are not the ones you want. They're gross. They smell terrible. It's like where that really awful smell comes to with stuff decomposing, versus aerobic bacteria, which is what we have going on with our compost here, right? And it ends up as a more brown, loose type stuff. And aerobic bacteria is what you have in your soil, right? That's what you want in your soil. That's the good stuff. So that's what we're trying to cultivate when we're doing compost, is our aerobic bacteria. And you do that by constantly turning the compost on a consistent basis until it's really set up to make sure oxygen, water, green matter, brown matter are all together, and then they take over from there. So that's the idea. That's the purpose of what we're doing. So yeah, you can take any of your stuff. Like I'm saying, I'm going to have to mow tomorrow more than likely, and all that grass is going to end up here in a fresh, brand new compost that I'm going to turn a few times and let it go over the winter. So over the winter months, it has a chance to nice slow and do its thing, and then in the spring, warm it back up with some fresh grass clippings and some water, and I'm going to have some really good juiced up compost for my garden to kick things off, and for my in the greenhouse as well, so they can have fresh stuff. Because what I'll do is I'll make compost tea out of this. You take this stuff and you soak it and extract the water, basically water, make a tea out of it, and then spray that all over your stuff. Lots of bacteria, lots of goodness. So yeah, that's what this looks like, folks. Good question, Mary. That was really good. And the thing is, all of the weeds that are growing, doesn't matter which ones they are, dandelions are one of them, obviously, that we're all familiar with. But you have certain weeds grow in certain spots for certain reasons. So that's something to keep in mind. What we got here? Yeah. Hey, Shawnee, hey, welcome. Welcome. Where are you at, by the way? Hey, Shawnee, where are you at in the country? Just curious. Yeah, teas are great. Love them. Love them. The more you can do them, the better. You can do the same thing. You can also do a tea with like your like weeds as well. So you get a bunch of weeds that are from wherever, let them soak for a couple days and start to ferment. Take that and then spray that over. It's a great nitrogen fertilizer for your gardens too. Free, basically. You just got to pay for the sprayer, Yeah, so we're gonna get this compost going, and then we're gonna get start on the second one. Just gonna keep everything going. But this bin is going to get refilled tomorrow with stuff from my yard here. So they are, yes, absolutely. Yep, you're in Minnesota. Yeah, absolutely. They are, yes. Bioaccumulator, that is correct. So I try to stay in 101 gardening here, maybe 102. You jumped right up to 301. That's awesome. Growing grass after mowing, I turn. Yep, turn. Yep, to avoid mold. So one of the things you can do when you get your grass is things that you can do. I have leaves from my neighbors' yards. They all are kind enough to let me come grab them, or they bring them over. You can also use, another one is simply just like cypress or brown wood chips. Those also work really well too. Just kind of mix it up, and they provide a structure as well. That's the other thing with brown matter. It's carbon, right? It provides the structure so that the grass can't flatten back down, and it helps to keep oxygen going through there. So that's the other reason what's great about it. So yeah, it's always brown matter, and green matter. And the ratio is typically 30-1 brown matter to green matter, but don't worry about that. Just dump it in there. Just make sure you got a good mix and it's mixed up. It'll figure it out. But you do need the carbon for sure. You need the carbon, and if you ever want to see something get like you're worried it's going to start a fire, hey, get some compost, but you've got some fresh stuff there. Mix it in with some fresh grass clippings and whatever, and start your next pile. It'll go from like 0 to 160 in no time. Especially that first one after the spring starts and warms up, man, it's something else. So anyways, if you're new here, hopefully make sure you hit the subscribe button. I come live pretty consistently throughout the year doing stuff like this here, my greenhouse, out in the garden, around the yard. Additionally, if you know of anyone that you think would be beneficial for this, make sure you hit subscribe, or make sure you share this with them as well too. So awesome. Grass clipping is mulch for the pathway. Yep. Yeah, and actually we'll see in the garden here, I've already got a layer of grass clippings down that I put down. I try to put as much, my goal is to return 100% of the organic matter that I pulled out of the garden by growing, plus like another 25%. Like every year, I'm just trying to basically build my soil level up as high as I can. Right now, it's probably going to be a 10-15 year process to really get it where I need it to be. Because this is like a lot of clay in my area, so we're really trying to change the soil here the best that I can. All right, that's enough of this. I'm going to leave a little bit in here for when I transport it. Start on the next one. Yep. Always adding organic matter, so important. All right. Now, bring you guys over here and kind of show you what's up, because I'm sure you guys are interested. Kind of show you the strata of what we got here. Oh, I'm in northern Michigan. Lake Michigan is right there. So I'm in Ludington, on the west shore of Michigan here. So I am 7B, I think is what the new growing zone is for me. All right, so yeah, good stuff. Oh, it smells so good, guys. Look at this stuff. All right, so let's take a look at the strata here. Break this down a little bit there and see what we got. Okay, so when I put this together, and yeah, 5B, I'm hello, yeah, hello from awesome. What part of California in, Mary? Have we talked about that? What part are you in? So what I did here is, you can just see, like, I've got crabgrass in here that I just tossed in, and it took root again, but whatever, not hurting anything. So this was where I put this together and I left it. It's been here for like 4 months. So, oh yeah, this is so good. Like, this stuff is just, it's so good. So the test that we're going here, obviously we want this should smell like the forest. Oh, here you guys smell too. Smells so good. It doesn't stink. Like, that's the thing. It smells like the forest. It's loamy, right? And when you give this a squeeze, you shouldn't really be able to get any water out of it. Like, you don't want it waterlogged, but Okay, okay, yeah, my daughter lives in San Clemente. That's what I was saying. I was just out in Irvine a couple months ago, and I'm in San Clemente pretty regularly, seeing my family. So, yeah, I love Southern California. But you can see how it sticks together in a ball, but then immediately breaks apart when you break that. This is what you're looking for. Now, this is not complete. You can still see I've got, we've got some sticks in there still. It hasn't completely broken down. But like I said, I don't put this in here. I rarely let it go until it's full compost. I always like to still have some of the structure left from the leaves and the brown matter, because I use it as mulch, right? As we talked about. So that's what you want. Now, what we'll see though, like in this area, as you move into the middle here, it will be more and more moist, right? And you can see the little sheen on there, right? And as you move in, it will be more and more basically processed. It'll be closer and closer to a darker, richer as you move inside here. In the middle here, because right, water and everything else and the heat pressure is there. And then you go to the sides here and you can see how drier it is. See how it's dry on the edges? Think like brownie. I think it's like a brownie, guys. The edges are always going to be dry and crispy and not really done or overdone, right? Not good. And the inside here is where the ooey gooey wonderfulness happens. But that's why we rotate. So, no, everything goes in here. Oh, well, I mean, food scraps, I feed my chickens most of the food scraps, but anything that they don't really get to, I just dump everything in here. Yeah. And I don't put anything that's meat or dairy goes to the chickens. This is only for plants and fruits and stuff. And eggshells come in here. What I don't want is, hey, Zaid, I don't want ever this to be a place where predators are thinking they can come for snacks. Does that make sense? So we don't put meat or anything in here that the predators may want to get in here. So, oh yeah, we're gonna go see the chickens here in a second, Shawnee. After I fill this up, my chickens are in my garden enclosure right now, messing everything up. So we're gonna go see them. So let me finish loading this up, and then we're gonna make our way into the garden for this next round, because this is round 3 currently. So I want to fill this up and get it going. But you can just see again, the difference in the way that the compost is put together here. It's just where it's had a chance to do its thing. And once you get started with composting, guys, if you have the space, it's so great, because once it's done, it's done. But it doesn't take a whole lot of anything really to get rolling. All right, that's enough there. All right, let's head into the garden, guys. San Diego mountains. Oh, heck yeah, I love it. So let's do this. I still haven't figured out the right way to broadcast this one. I've got to kind of carry the stick around. Doesn't make for the best content, I know, but I appreciate y'all hanging out. So San Diego mountains. San Diego has got one of the wildest set of microclimates. I was down there teaching at the Submarine Warfare Center. Get out of here, you. Get. And yeah, loved all that stuff. So yeah, real life, I know. But you still want to have a little bit, I still have to be, a little bit entertaining here for content, you know what I mean? Got to get you guys to stay past the ad breaks, right? Okay. So I got to keep closing everything up, like I said, because I do have my chickens in here. They're getting ready to come be nosy Parkers here. Okay. Here you go. Give you guys. Hey, girls. What's going on? So you can see here, put this over here. Talk about this section over here where the chicks are messing everything up right now. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Don't forget to hit that like button. We love that. So you can see here in this area, I've got grass clippings from 2 weeks ago that I put out. The same thing for a mulch, right? They're just, and it's okay. I mean, again, the goal here is to cover stuff up, but it's also the chickens. As you can see, my girls, they're doing what chickens do. We should be able to see it here, hopefully. If not, we'll see it when we put some stuff down, because I'm going to put some more compost on top of this. You can see these areas here where they've scratched stuff, right? They're looking for stuff to munch on, right? Honey's coming over here, right? Come here, honey. right? She thinks I'm finding her worms here. So they're scratching this up. What ends up happening is as they're scratching, grass clippings get put in there, get mixed up, and now we're getting organic matter put in here on top of, they're pooping everywhere. So we're getting fertilizer. And that's what, again, that's what chicken's really good for. They come through here and scratch stuff up. It's what they do. And it's wild, the stuff that they will eat. So, like, for instance, they're finally picking away at the artichoke. Like, they haven't been, but there really isn't much left for them. But they will not, get this off here. Like, they won't mess with my celery. Right? I just grew this celery because I had a space, I wanted to grow some. But they will not, they're not big fans of it. Like, I'm trying to get Honey to have some right now, and she's like, I ain't even touching that stuff. So, but anyways, this is the idea. So we're gonna do grass clippings. This is gonna get covered with compost here. I'm gonna bring this over and load this section up. And then gonna just kind of work our way through the garden today, guys. It's kind of the idea. You can see these, like the artichokes, look at these things, these monsters. I had no idea they got this big. Look at these things. They're huge, huge. All right, so matter of fact, I'm gonna put you guys in the corner. I know we're not split, you never put baby in the corner, but that's what we're doing today. Just drop you here, and then I'm gonna come around with my cart here and start dumping and moving. Hey, you. Yeah. What are you doing here? Now I'm trying to be careful also because I've got my rosemary bush like right here in the middle, right in the way, which is fine. I just don't want to run it over. I've got 2 rosemary bushes, come on, let's go. I think the artichokes are going to go down today, which isn't the worst thing. Like I said, artichokes are cheap. Yeah, fall checklist for sure. No popcorn. This is decoration corn. I mean, it's sweet corn. I give it to my girls, but it is pure decoration corn. I do have some of the what's that called? The gem corn. We call it Indian corn growing up, but the gem corn that I didn't grow this year, but I do have the seeds. That'll probably be next year. But I grow corn simply just so I have stuff for the front of the house. Like, I'm going to move that over today, cut these guys down, and add it to my decorations for the front of the house. So, like I said, then the chickens, they get to munch on some corn too. They enjoy that. All right, so we're just gonna kind of dump this, let it fall. Now this little cart, yeah, glass gem, there you go, yep, glass gem, that's the one. I didn't know that, I couldn't remember the name of it. Now this little gorilla cart, it was $89 I got off of Amazon. Here's what it's done for me in the 2.5 years I've had it. You can't really see it, but back here where my shed's at, where I get the compost, this thing moved 8 yards of number 47 stone for foundation with my tractor. It took me two days to move everything. And then this thing has moved, I mean, so much stuff. It's probably only got maybe another couple years left in it and it's done. But man, this has gotten all the money's worth on here. So, did you start artichokes from seed? I did. Yeah, I did actually do them from seed. I have no idea how long these things are supposed. I don't even know if to be honest, I don't think I have a long enough growing season for artichokes. I think it's that. So, yeah. Wait, Shawnee, what were you growing last night? The heck? You're holding out on me here. What was the topic last night? What were you guys getting into? And it is wild running into folks, like the circles and everything. So, always wild. That's too funny that you guys you're catching up on this thing here. So, seed saving basics. Yeah, I'm actually talking to my neighbors about that too. As well. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I have marigolds and black-eyed Susans, zinnias, you name it. I got tons, a bunch of wildflowers. And live stream, that's awesome. Yeah, so we are going through, and I'm actually teaching people, my neighbors, how to save their seeds as well. Exactly. That's you can't beat it. Marigolds are like the gateway drug for it. Be able to pull them out and say, here's all your seeds, you're done, right? Be able to do that. But the same thing, we were talking through. This is actually one of my demonstration summer squash too, where I was letting everything go to seed. These aren't ready yet, but they were junior. And I was just showing folks, like, in one like one summer squash set of seeds here, like you've got 10 packets worth of, worth of seeds that you can, that you're saving all this money by just taking a second to do it. So, yeah, you just need one, yeah. But like with marigolds, like, so I grow in my greenhouse here. So when you guys subscribe and follow, I'm in my greenhouse live starting in January. I've been doing some stuff in there this fall, as we're doing all of my seeds for all of my flowers, getting all my plants ready, having stuff there. So, yeah. For cucumber, yeah, I actually have, funny you mentioned that. I'll just show you one of them here. And you'll know, as soon as you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about, because I got a group of them. I know, honey, I didn't go that far. So, right, I have a whole bunch of them that are yellowing up on here. I have not grown the strawberry blonde marigolds. I have not, but folks don't understand letting these things go until they're mush to ferment, to go down that line, so you can get to those seeds that are right there that are still a bit too juicy. You're ready to go. Oh, look at you. Awesome. Yeah, look at that's awesome. With the school, that's cool. I'm actually talking to my local school here about helping them with their greenhouse and getting some, because we're in an agricultural area here, and I grew up as a farmer before I left for the military. So, we all spend our time here, but a lot of these young folks, they want to get into growing in agriculture. They got to learn the 101 stuff first, what it actually is as far as taking care of the soil and all those things before we let them loose with fertilizers and pesticides and all that stuff. Honey, I'm working. I love this chicken. She's got so much attitude. Like, I don't care if you're trying to make it work right there, Ryan. I'm going to come over here and do my stuff. So with that, folks, so if you can see what I'm doing here. So, hey, Teresa, welcome. Where you at, Teresa? So as you guys can see here what I'm doing, though, so I've got my original, basically grass clippings here that have been down for, a little bit now. And I'm dropping additional mulch through the compost directly on top of there, okay? So again, the overarching goal here you want to have is keep your soil covered at all time. Like, that is hands down the most important. Florida, awesome. See, I've got cloud cover today. Hopefully you're getting sunshine and warmth for all of us. That's my hope. So, hey, Amanda, welcome. Welcome to the stream. But so, like, the goal here is you always want to keep your soil covered. It's so very, very important. Now, by the way, this is always just the disclaimer as well for folks that are new here to the streams. If you do subscribe, thank you very much. You're going to get some gardening content, but I'm also a business coach, and that's where most of my videos are. So you're going to see this face doing business coach stuff too. So just FYI. So Zone 7, Delaware. Yeah, we always want to feed the soil. You feed the soil, the soil will take care of the plants, 100%. So I'm in northern Michigan, near a town called Ludington. So I'm right off the lake shore of West Michigan. They're right on Lake Michigan. And so we're subtropical. Again, I can never remember, like, I went in the new zone that I'm in. I think it's 7B. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't really worry about it too much because it's all made up. Because it really just depends which way the wind's blowing for us here. So let's get this little scoot around. Hey, girls. I know. I'm like in the way. I know. Okay, so you're in Byerson, Michigan. Oh, awesome. When's your first frost? We actually had, sorry. I had some compost got compost inside the stand here. We actually had a little bit of frost a couple days ago. We actually had some. Wasn't enough to do too much damage. I'll show you here. Oh, gonna lose a corn. Gonna use the corn here. You can see on my basil shrub here. Have you guys come down? My basil shrub here. You can see. See, it got a little frost damage on them here. Now I was hoping these probably aren't going to make it to seed just because it's too late, whatever. But we're there. So, in your humble garden, spreading the. Oh yeah, no worries. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, easy stuff. You know, again, just understanding compost. And, you know, I mean, put it this way, I'd much rather spend time. Come on now. Come on, guys. Ugh. We're doing it live here, folks. So it's real. Someone with a life. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by someone with a life? That's funny. What was I going to say here? I just like the little extra effort that goes in. I like stuff that you have to do a little bit of work. I don't, it's just always been my way. I don't know if it was how I was raised or whatever, but you know, if you got a choice between like easy and difficult, you know, ways to live your life and ways to do things, always choose the hard path. You know, that's what it was kind of ingrained in me from a kid. It's just kind of how I've always lived. So, but this isn't even really that hard. It just takes time. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm getting out in the environment. You know, to use the internet phrase, I'm touching grass, right? So, cool. Hey, Teresa, and again, Teresa, just don't forget with your basil seeds. Throw them in the freezer for a couple weeks, okay? Oh, thank you very much. Oh, crazy on here. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy. I mean, folks are trying to find attention in whatever different ways. You know, I get it. So, but yeah, don't forget on the other thing too. Don't forget, yeah, with your basil seeds, put them in the freezer 2 weeks at least. You want to make sure that they get some cold time. It'll help with your germination rate. Which is, I store all of my seeds once they've been dried out and packaged. They all live in the. You garden at a separate property? Let me see what you're saying here. Okay, yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's, you know, there's a lot of folks that have to do that too, and frankly, it also gives you a chance to kind of keep an eye on it. So that's cool. Yeah, so yeah, Teresa, when it comes to the seeds and everything, so Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to lean on your expertise here. The word that is used to describe freezing, basically making sure that the seeds go through that cold phase, that freezing phase, is called stratification. Is that right? Am I saying that? Or stratification? I think it's an S word. But seeds have to go through that, you know, that phase to make it seem like wintertime. And if you don't do that, oh, hey buddy, get out of here, you. There you go. I had a praying mantis that was in my compost there. Let him get out and do his thing. Love. What do we got? Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Winter conditions, yeah. And see, Shawnee, you're breaking like all these definitions and stuff. I love that. I'm just like, I do it because it works. It wants winter. Oh, it's such a great workout. Yeah, plus, I mean, you get to eat what we're growing here, right? How great is that? So yeah, stratification. There we go. All right. Me and my less than professional self on these things. All right. But yeah, so like today's just what a great day. I'm glad so many cool folks on the chat today. Love it. And we got to, you know, it's been rotating through too, the folks that have been showing up for this stream versus hopping on the greenhouse stream too. I'm trying to find the right time to do the greenhouse streams too. Like that's the other spot to help make it work with people's schedules. Because I like to do it like after dinner for me, like 5 to 6 to 7, something like that. I just didn't want it to be too late and then have to be competing with the other shows. But I also know Saturday mornings are just fun for these streams. So everybody's getting on and just kind of checking up on stuff, so which we love. All right, that'll be good for that. I accidentally brought this with me. I should not have brought that with me. All right. Okay, great. No worries. Awesome, Karen. Yeah. I always just do it just to, well, for all my seeds. So that's awesome that you're able to have it work without it. That's cool. All right. Got my neighbor. She's taking off. All right, so we're gonna do this. Kind of do this in sections here. They sure do. Seeds just want to grow. It's weird. if we stay out of their way, if we just kind of stay out of seeds' way, they tend to just do their thing, right? That's like all my pumpkins this year. All of my pumpkins are surprise pumpkins, and all my sunflowers were surprise sunflowers. I didn't grow them. Like, I didn't plant them this year. I basically just, I throw stuff out wherever it lands and let it grow. All right, so move to our next spot here. Put you on here by my oregano. That's another thing I absolutely, come on, find a spot, Ryan. You can do this. I don't know why I'm struggling so much today. There we go. Okay, my goodness, that took way too long. Self-seeding volunteer, yeah, 100%. Hi, you. Come here, you. Hey. Stop being so troublesome, honey. I think I'm gonna have to knock these. You guys are gonna watch me actually take the corn plants down today, I think. They're just kind of in the way. Same thing with the artichokes. It's gonna be about that time. So, nice chicken wired. Okay, so I just have regular chicken wire on there, but I also have them inside of my cattle fence enclosure too, like for my garden. So I've got like multiple layers of protection and the chicken wire goes down like a foot also. So I've got, if I put it this way, any critter that gets in and is able to get one of my chickens, they have earned the right to enjoy a chicken dinner. So, in this fence, this is cattle fence on the top. I have cattle fence along the top, and then just the standard stuff you get from Home Depot or Lowe's, and then I've got chicken wire down below, and that's a foot down as well too. So I've got different levels for what they need there. So hey, what's happening, Flavor Daddy? Welcome back. Keep finding me. That's good stuff. All right. Doing good stuff here, folks. Exactly. So let's just kind of get this stuff over here and continue just to load up the old garden here. And I tell you, this celery, I'm going to grow celery again. It's not, end of the day, it's not, it takes forever to grow. It breaks one of my cardinal rules that I have. Why am I off here today? What things? Okay, from a production value. Okay, good. So like celery, it takes forever to grow, especially up here, whatever. But I'm going to grow this stuff again because it is just so nice to have snacks like right available, right here. It's one of the reasons that I enjoy growing a lot of my stuff. You just peas, for instance. I grow a bunch of peas in the spring, not to save, because peas are cheap. Same thing with celery. So I have snacks in the garden. So standard candle panels, 16. Oh yeah. So what Shawnee said to answer that. Yeah, I don't have any of that information. I should know better, but I don't. So thank you for looking that up. Shawnee for the W here. My goodness. I have, hands down, the smartest, friendliest, intelligent, awesomest chat around, I think. You guys are awesome. Love it. You guys are all, and that's the other thing too, just in gardening in general. I love it how we all just kind of chip in to help each other. So we are not digging. Celery and peanut. I'm a celery purist. Give me fresh celery and I'm the happy guy, but I understand the peanut butter. No, this is compost actually. We're not digging. We're spreading compost on my garden. That's what we're doing. Again, this is to cover it for winter. So it has the good stuff. Gives an opportunity for the rain also. Like, it doesn't be raining and snowpack. It's gonna come in, saturate this compost, and then allow all of the bacteria and the goodness to different levels of degree into the soil too, as well as getting more organic matter in here. So it's all the good stuff. All the good stuff you want. But yeah, no digging. Hey, honey, I know, I know, I know. You're like, what's he doing? You're so nosy, girl. All right. So other stuff too, like you'll see, and because of all the like the seed, the bird seed that I have around too, I get stuff like this growing. You guys don't know what this is. So if you don't know what this is, right, you don't know if you can see this plant too. Let me get in front of it here, right? This is basically what you get in your bird seed here. This is sorghum. This is the main component in millet, and like you just got all the good stuff here. It just grows and lives its best self. So you get millet, you get sorghum growing, and what's great about it? You just throw it out there. I ain't worried about it because the more stuff we have growing, the better. Yep. So sorghum is so good. And by the way, hey, one thing's for you. If you grow your sorghum, you can also pop it like popcorn. That's pretty good. Makes these tiny little kernels, just kind of like corn. Kind of tasty. Yeah, I've got, so that's the other thing too. So you guys can see, if we look down the line here, you see I've got marigolds, I've got coneflowers in here. There's some coneflowers that are still up, like our echinacea here, right? Still got a little bit left. And then, you know, I've got black-eyed Susans that are here well too. So one of the I keep these up year round. I let them go through the winter because the birds will come in and chomp on all these things. So it's extra seeds for them, okay? I don't turn the soil. I have a broad fork. So what I do is I'll come in and I just lift up and decompact the soil and plant from there. I don't turn over. It's not really like full no till soiling, excuse me. But it's my version of it because I don't like to. And one of the reasons too on this, that for you guys that don't know, clear off a little spot here, take a break. So when you're doing your soil, when you till your soil, right? The reason you do that too is you're, oh my gosh, what's going on? You know, here, there we go. We'll do that. You're tilling your soil for a couple of reasons. One, to make it to deal with compaction. You maybe want to get organic matter put in there, which is true. All good reasons. Yeah, exactly. Without flipping over. And that's really weird. But with the broad fork, right, you're coming with these big old tines and you just kind of lift up and you let it back down. It loosens everything up. It gives channels for air and water and soil and nutrients to get down. But the thing you gotta keep in mind too, right, is bacteria. Like let's say this is our section of soil right here. Different types of bacteria are gonna live at different layers that go on here. And they all serve a purpose in those different layers for different reasons, right? So I don't use any cover crops. It's just because it's too hard for me to go through and have to kill them off in the spring. Like I've done it before. It's like extra work. So I just cover everything with compost. And then if I do need to pull some stuff out, like I get some weeds, I will. So, but that being said, I usually have stuff in the ground around March. Like I'll have lettuces and spinach and some other, and brassicas. They'll be in there in March. So I have stuff growing pretty quick. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. It's just, if I was further south, I would. Like if in like Southern Ohio, Tennessee, and those areas, I would, because the growing season's different. But anyways, those different bacteria lines, when you go through and you till, you're now spreading all of those bacteria out of where they want to be at, and they're less efficient. You're going to kill them off. And now they have to spend time reestablishing everything. Versus if you can manage your system in a way where you're allowing the organic matter to stay, find a way to incorporate where you can, but it'll naturally work its way through as you build up the soil. And then, but also allow the bacteria where they're at, they're going to be in a good spot. They're going to produce more. They're going to be happier, and it's going to be healthier for your plant. So that's one of the reasons why you have that. So, yeah. So that's it. That's why I don't till. I just want to make sure I spend all this time getting the bacteria in there. So my last usually in May, but like saying for lettuce, the lettuce varieties, your and your brassicas, they'll be fine down to like 28 degrees, 29. I've had them down there where we hit 26 one day, and they get little frost damage, but beyond that, they're good. So Hey Ralph, what's happening? Welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness, man! Shawnee dropping all the big words on us too. My goodness, Shawnee, you have to be on like on mobile or on like on desktop. I can't imagine you're punching all that out on your mobile phone. That is, man, you are killing it. All right, so let's load this next one up and just make our next way down. Now, what's really going to be great with this, all of the like the chickens, obviously, there's all sorts of goodies in here too. So they're going to be scratching through all this and breaking stuff up. So you're on your phone typing that? My goodness. My thumbs do not work that fast. That's amazing. That's cool. Yeah, I am a slow tap typer on the phone, to say the least. Now with this, I've got grass. So I have grass that's in there. I have 4 plus a large section that I put leaves in. So I've got 4 pallet sized, so 3-4 foot, but and then there's a whole nother section which is it's probably 16 feet that I use to put all of my leaves in and everything. Let me show you that real quick. This is really just kind of more of a holding area than anything. Help your leaves break down for spring. I'll tell you, so your leaves, you want to, you stack them up, do the best you can for mass, but like you can just see this whole section here, it'll be full up to here with leaves. And what you'll end up with, to answer your question, Open Eyes, at the bottom of this is all the rain and snow and stuff. This is going to shrink down. It'll be your bottom of your, like the bottom portion of your leaves will be good, but it takes 2 years really to break them down, just leaves. It takes a couple years for that. So, but yeah, 100% correct though. If you want to shred them, you can. But for mine, I like to leave them all whole there. I just kind of mix them up and with the stuff we're working on here. But yeah, you shred them. You can hit them with a little bit of water there. But the easiest way though is really just mix them in with some other stuff here. So yeah, time is better, 100%. Yep. When it comes to leaves, because you're with leaves, you're trying to build something. In the perfect world, you're building something called leaf mold with your leaves, not necessarily compost. And you can go look on YouTube, which are already there, and do your leaf mold as well too. Yep, exactly. Go look on YouTube. There's tons of videos on leaf mold. You'll be able to see it, and it's good stuff. Drop you over there. So you guys can see nice how dark and rich this is, and this has only gotten 1 turn. This would be even better if I had not been lazy this summer and had turned it at least a couple times. This would be fully composted by this point, but I was lazy because I knew I was just gonna be doing this with it. But we'll have probably 3 bays full once we get into there. So the other thing with leaf mold too, that's where that, in my experience, that's really where you get that good loamy smell. Like the forest is with leaf mold. You get that really, really good loamy smell. Like this stuff smells amazing. It's clean. It smells so good. It's again like walking through the forest. So, thanks for subscribing, Mary. Hey, have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you swinging by. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I was saying, if we're all here just learning. I am no master gardener or anything. I'm just a dude who, is out here trying to do the work and learning by experience on stuff. More than happy to share. So if you find some of this stuff is informational, by all means, I am glad to hear it. Anyways, love it, guys, having folks hang out too, because nice garden work it's nice and refreshing. But man, it's good to have some folks to talk to too. Oh, with this, what am I doing with this stuff? So if you hang out for a second, you'll see we're going to take this over to my my garden. We're putting down this compost as a mulch. That's what be happening. That's what's happening today. All right. Yep. And in this particular garden too, it's really important that I've done this too, because there's an area which right along here, oh look, don't forget to do that. Right along here where that corn, this section right through here used to be a, many moons ago, a stream. So it's full of clay, just tons and tons and tons of clay. So I am actively working with the corn's assistance to break up that soil, which we're gonna cut that corn down right now, guys. I made a command decision, we're gonna do that. We're gonna trim this corn back so I can get in here with the compost better. But anyway, so this is clay all through here. So the corn, right, it's got the roots that'll go down, helps break it up, but I cut the corn off. I never pull the roots up, so that'll break down and then you got more organic matter in there, but it is also breaking up the clay at the same time. So that is one of the reasons. So let me grab my clippers real quick. Where'd they go? Where they be? Oh, they're in the greenhouse. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay still. We'll take a look in the greenhouse here in a second too, guys. Kind of show you what's up in the greenhouse. I have a few trays going and a few things, like I've got lettuce started and we got a few other things we're doing. Okay, so anywho, make sure we're all back. So you guys can hear me okay? Sometimes when I leave with the mic go too far, it cuts off, so. Hopefully you guys still let me know you guys can still hear me. I got a green light that says you can hear me. I just want to make sure. Make sure I ain't got to fix that before I go anywhere. Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so as I was saying, right, we got all this corn here, and I'm gonna pull one up just so we can see what we're dealing with. So, just one of the baby corns here, and it rips some of the stuff off. Oh, awesome, thank you. So let's get some education on root structure here, because there's some good stuff to see. Obviously, we want this inside the soil. I don't want this out. That's why we're going to be... yeah, I know. Isn't it great? We're going to spend some time on this. So I let the chickens run in here when I'm done with my garden. They can help kind of tear stuff down. And then they're, obviously fertilizer everywhere, right? They're eating things and letting it go. But they're typically in their run. And then I let them out during the season in different areas. So, all right, so let's learn some stuff today, guys. So obviously, the structure, we're not going to spend time like on the big old taproot that actually is way down this deep, a tiny one to get things going. So this is what roots are supposed to do, right? Obviously, you can see there's this big old thing, but you notice how all of the soil is sticking in here? I can tap it off to get it off there, right? But let's look at these guys right down here. You see how those are hanging off of there? But you've got these little root balls. They're kind of stuck there. So one of the things that roots do is they produce a glue. Very light glue, but it's a glue that sticks all of this basically rock and other organic stuff here together. And they sticks to the roots. That's where they get the moisture. It helps with the transfer of energy and stuff. But this is where your bacteria hangs out too. Lots of bacteria is living in this thing here. And it's got its agreement between the plant that it's going to provide the minerals and all the goodness over here. And they're trading sugar with the plant, right? So that's what's going on. That's why we love root structure and we want to leave it in there, because all of this is going to break down and provide nutrients and structure in the soil, because otherwise, go back to it, soil doesn't naturally want to stay together. Does this, or it's compacted down, right? Which we also don't want. Oh, we got a visitor today. Hello. What's up? Yay. That's Honey, folks. What's up, pretty? Got my wife creeping on me here. She's over here. So anyways, we're going to continue cutting these guys down here. What's up, girl? Yeah. So yeah. Brown, I don't know chicken types. I went to Tractor Supply and said I'll take these 6 chickens, and just ended up with all sorts of versions. Maybe. I don't know. All right, so we're just going to come through and trim them down. Girls, come on. Honey, there you go. Honey, you need to stop finding the most inconvenient place to be. You are something else. But So yeah, we're just gonna come down here and just cut everything back. Which again, so I built another structure too for my chickens. They have a little spot like a lean-to, because one of the things that they enjoy doing is being down and having cover, like shade. So they love hanging out in here and then underneath the artichokes because it's cover for them as well. So go on. We got Daryl. Hey, oh, is it Dariella? Dariella, right? Is that correct? Dariella, welcome. So they like cover, so I've had to build them already a little bit of cover in preparation for this, so they can be comfortable out here. Because we do have bald eagles around here. We do have a lot of stuff that wants to eat these guys. So we got some, here we go. Yeah, of course you guys are getting, oh, okay. Guys, can I, this one isn't for you. Man, the girls immediately went after the corn. They're like, ooh, the corn's down, let's get after it. You can see, this one I'm gonna save. This one I'm gonna save. It's gonna hang up in the garden, or in the garage, and we're gonna dry it off for corn for next year. So, there we go. Look pretty good. Again, I didn't grow any of the sweet corn to eat. It's just growing it to grow it. So, we'll place it up there. Okay. Good stuff here. Here, you guys can have this stuff here. How many we got left? Got a couple. And again, I'm not too worried about production with these two. That's the other thing when it comes to like growing the corn. It's just meant for display, but I have family members that grow feed corn. I mean, I've got 200 acres of corn I can go grab if it doesn't grow too well. You know, to have it set up for decoration. Okay. No, guys. Hey now. Here. Go get that one. Some of these didn't fare too well, but we're gonna kind of just stack them up over here. Yes, I know. You guys want to go munch on stuff. I know. Yes, I hear you. So it's so funny watching all my neighbors wake up too. Like they're all getting up and doing their thing. So it's they always do a slow roll whenever they come by my house, because they're always being a little nosy about what I got going on here. It's pretty funny, which is fine. It's good. One of the things about living in a small town. One of the reasons we moved back. Look at this little guy. Look at this little baby corn. It was hiding in my little section. What do you guys think? I think you got maybe 3 kernels in here. Let's see. Hi, honey. Oh, look at this little guy. Oh, I have 6. No, we don't harvest them for winter eating. They're just for egg production. Look at that little guy. Here you go. Hey. Here you go, honey. There you go. You can have that. Okay. I'll clear this space off, and then we're gonna work on getting our compost down here. Yeah. So not a lot of corn this year. I grew markedly less than I grew the previous couple years. Again, I just wasn't harvesting that much. Yes, I know. I see you. What? They're worse than toddlers. Like, especially this one, honey. You are always underfoot, honey. Always. You got to stop that. So I'm going to throw some of these greener pieces over here. Are you just going to be in the way today, honey? Okay, all right, so we got that squared away. Now, one thing I am going to do, get these tomatoes out of here. More of my surprise tomatoes growing. Just toss those over there. One thing I am going to do is I am going to leave, you guys see this down here. I am going to leave these. I'm going to have these go until they are basically done. I'm going to have them go until they are completely done for the year, and harvest seeds out of this for next year, because my neighbors really like this. I had a whole bunch that I was growing, and I want to do more production next year for my my garden stand. I give away free. Well, I mean, it's donation. You know, people leave me some money. I have a little box for it, because if I had it free, no one around here would take advantage of it. So it's donation only, where I give out tons and tons of free stuff and everything. So, yeah, it's a garden stand. Yep, no, it's yeah, it's free veggies, and we're in a significant food desert around here, which you wouldn't think, but folks, just access to fresh vegetables is tough around here. So I just want to make sure folks have access to those things during the summer, which is again why I do this. I don't need, I mean, this produces more. We produce more than enough food out of this garden for me and my wife and the family. So we'll share as much as we have. I actually have so I do have a dehydrator. I use it for quite a few things. I actually have two. I have one for food grade, another one for seeds and like flowers, like for instance lavender. So I do have some stuff that I do dehydrate and save. Mushrooms are the big one around here. So morel mushrooms and pheasant back or dryad saddle mushrooms. So yes, absolutely. They're great to have. They make things much better. But you know, for my chickens, they produce just enough eggs for me and the wife. You know, for our purposes. So that is, you know, the extent of really where we're at. You know, 6 chickens is plenty for like me and the redhead. You know, it's plenty for us. All right, what do we got here? Oh yeah, so that is a great. Oh hey, bye Teresa, take care. Oh yeah, Shawnee, I'm out. Trust me, I'm out getting mushrooms and all sorts of good stuff. Yeah, it's if there's calories, I'm gonna find them. Especially if I don't gotta pay for them, you know, or I get to get out in nature. So, my garden is 25 by 50. You know, before I do this, let's take a break. Let me show you guys give you a quick little tour around here, and then we'll get in, finish this one off here, and get on a few more things. Oh, black walnuts. Yeah, I got tons of black walnuts around here. All right. So, keep you guys on the tour here. So, again, in the garden here, it's 25 by 50. You guys can kind of see this is a halfway point here. I got, you know, this set up for trellis for cucumbers, etc. I have basically our bird boxes where no one lived in it this year. We didn't have anybody in there, but I have a couple others where they did. Yeah, tour time for sure. So this is the run for my chickens. You know, things to keep in mind here. So this is gonna get larger next year. Probably in the spring I'm gonna build this out a little bit more, but it's more than enough space for my 6 chickens. So I'm in 7B. Like I said, we've been trying to figure it out. I think I'm in 7B with that new change. So again, this is the coop that I have. Perfect. It's enough for 6, and I've got my one Silky. She's being broody. Not exactly a happy camper lately, but you know, it is what it is. You know, she wants to be broody. I ain't gonna be mad at her. All right, so can continue on here. You can see the greenhouse. We're gonna take a look at the greenhouse in a second. So I really got to split up into 2 seconds. Yeah, that math. And what I did here, and this is getting built out. This little lean-to is also for my chickens too. So they have a little spot they can come hide at, and they love it. They can come down here, and I was watching them yesterday. It's a newer feature that we're doing with them. So, but this section over here where I'm at, this is where I do my brassicas in the spring, because the one is right by my greenhouse. But you can see I've got some Brussels sprouts here that the chickens have been picking at, and everybody else. I'm not too concerned about it. But you can see Brussels sprouts. I just kind of let them go this year. So, yep, natural lean-to. You got it. There's that. But, you know, it's a good little spot for the chickens. They live their best lives. All right, so down here, we're going to flip around for this, guys. See, looking at me. Again, we got more black-eyed Susans all the way around here. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you. That love hitting the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, folks. Love it. So this is where I did my some of my cucumbers this year. You can see, just something for them. But then you end up with stuff like this, where whoopsies, they're growing like that. So I've got a couple there, and then got more marigolds. And again, seed harvesting training. 1, 2, 3. Got a couple seeds there. There we go. You too. You too. Like I said, it is the full-on thing we got here. And then these were my tomatoes. I've got a few. I'm still letting them go here, but these are Campari tomatoes that I got from the store, and I just harvested the seeds and I grew them here because these are like my favorite ones to have. They're good for just to have around. They're nice medium size, good flavor. And this is like the stuff I had, but you guys didn't see. It's kind of hard if you guys didn't notice, but where I was tossing all that stuff. Where I was throwing all this stuff. This is where my tomatoes were last year. This year, I had 54 tomato plants all along this. In addition to cucumbers here, cucumbers along here, cucumbers over there, and then tomatoes and stuff over here. So that's, like I was saying, a lot of stuff along with beans and beets and the springtime stuff. So this is the greenhouse. Okay, got more marigolds because we love those. Single leader lines. Yep, you are correct on those. Now this is, again, for my greenhouse here, kind of show you the deal here. I've got this insulated on 3 corners, like here, up here, right? So we've got insulation on here. Tile, but this side here, this down here is going to end up with bubble wrap all the way along here. Let me do this here. All right, so this is going to have bubble wrap all along here and then down the side here. I run power in here, and I've got plenty of. I run power in here. I'm trying to think here, and then I actually build out some temporary shelves to have stuff as well. So, as I was saying, I like to grow lettuce a lot. One of my favorite things. So I have some butter lettuce that's going here that we got started a couple weeks ago. So it's doing its stuff. No, I don't really worry about that too much. One, with the insulation in here, but two, I run these things. So, it keeps, as long as it keeps it above 34, I'm pretty good for the most part. And I've got lights and mats and everything, so everything stays in a good temperature. So here I've got additional rounds of lettuce going, and then I've actually got some onions started here too. So I'm gonna have onions popping as well. But we're going to continue to kind of set stuff up and have things growing in here throughout the year and getting prepped, because January, February, I'm going to be starting perennials and the stuff that I want to have for my, trying to think for my spring garden too. We're going to get started on those and have a lot of it growing in here, and then also have multiple phases where it'll make its way out into the garden itself. So other thing too, which is nice, highly recommend, if you can put one of these in your greenhouse. It's great. It's a solar pod. Like, here's the solar panel, and what it does is simply just maintains the temperature. I have it set to kick on at 90 degrees, so it just stays 90 in here, and it's good stuff. Yeah, celery. Like I said, celery start, but I've got a lot. Chickens, guys. I didn't put that in there for you to scratch up. Those are for decoration, guys. What are you doing? Come on. Yeah, that's right. They're walking away. They knew they were in trouble. The other thing too, we'll just do a quick little spot here since we're out walking. So this is my messy corner house. You can see everything dying off, but this is where I have wildflowers growing through this whole section. Just to make it nice and bright. You can see we've got zinnias are on their way out, but we got these guys are getting ready to pop just for their last hurrah. A couple of these guys growing, and then I've got all my lavender here. It's due to be collected again and saved. I've got a couple mason jars full of so there is that. Yep, exactly. Lots of pollinators, and that's why I have flowers all around my garden to make sure we got that. So we're going to cut through the backyard, and then I'll show you guys where my little orchard's at too. Okay, we'll do that. Tour time is always one of my favorite times, just because it breaks up the stream a little bit. You know what I mean? So, all right, here we go. So I have this, and everything you can tell is kind of, it's on its way out here, but this entire backyard is full of perennials. And as you can see, I always let this stuff go whenever I see it growing here. Got more sorghum doing its thing. Lots of perennials. We got our mountain ash, which the birds love these. They're going to be around for a while. Right here. Can I get that to zoom in? There we go. There we go. So the birds love these. Be able to chomp on those. Lots of perennials, and you can see they've all died off. But again, these are cone flowers, and we always want to make sure you just leave those up. Don't take these down in the fall. Get them in the spring, because you can see those little lighter patches. Those are the seeds that the birds are going to be chomping on all winter. So it's a great another way to feed your birds too. But anyways, the chickens have been in here. They don't like this little guy. Same thing here, got bird seed, but you can see this is 120 linear feet by 5 to 6 feet wide for all this. When this thing is in full and bloom, it's just gorgeous. And you say, we're just down to our last little bits. I've got a few of my coreopsis, they're still hanging out. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick look at the orchard I got set up, then we're gonna go back and do some more compost. Okay. And on this side, where the neighborhood's at, we've got our apple trees. I've got a whole bunch of different, I got pear trees, peach tree. I do not have sweet alyssum. No, I do not. Sorry. These are Rainier cherries. There's Rainier cherry trees here, and then I lost 2 of my trees this year. But these guys here, this is a pawpaw. So we're growing pawpaws. You guys don't know it, but I lost one. So I did have one of my pawpaws die, so I got to order another. So, it is what it is. But yeah, that's my little baby orchard going here. So, losing audio. All right, I'll trade out my mic. I've been talking for a bit, so. But the same thing here, like for instance, other trees that I have. So I have a crabapple tree right here, which are sweeter than you would normally think. And then in the springtime, I've got this tree here. This is a mulberry tree. So that's a mulberry tree. And if you haven't had mulberry, it's delicious. So let me go ahead and change out my mic real quick. And we're gonna get back. So yeah, that's the tour, guys. Oh yeah, it could be too far. You know what? Now I think I was probably too far from internet because. Yeah, mulberry. Yeah, so that was a pleasant surprise when I moved onto the property and I had mulberry. So yeah, it's probably service glitches now that I think about it because my Wi-Fi is right there. So I was on the other side of the house. That makes sense. Okay, so everybody can hear me okay now? Just make sure we're back good before so I should have 6 hours of talk time on this mic. All right. Okay, so we're getting smiles, so I must be back. Okay, good. So we're good? Okay, so that's the tour, guys. I mean, I also have, over by the compost, there is, I have strawberries in another watering trough that's up there. They're ever-bearing. So, that's another thing that I have as well for calories, just to have some extra fruits around. It's all good stuff. Here, guys. All right. The tours are fun. They always knock me off my game a little bit here. So, I got to get back. All right, back in focus. All right. So again, if you guys haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't hit thumbs up, I would definitely appreciate it. It helps the algorithm. And if you know someone that likes gardening, make sure you, okay, cool. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. It was just because I was on the other side of the property. So, okay. So this, actually, I didn't realize this was disconnected. So I can move these out of here. These guys are done. Cool. So put these over by the door, make those into the greenhouse, and we will harvest those seeds later. Cool. Okay. Just do this. There. Other stuff that I've done here too. So you'll see it. I've got, I planted a couple a couple of my onions here. My plant wish list. I actually ordered some too. I want to get some different gourds for next year. So there's a few different varieties that I'm going after. Gourds really are my big one. But this next year is going to be like laser focused on, let me toss this. Is going to be laser focused on getting my beet production better. Basically my root vegetables. I want more carrots, turnips, parsnips, definitely beets. My wife likes beets, so I want to make sure I get some beets there. I didn't realize she liked beets as much as she does. So, you know, I've been together almost 30 years. I think I would know that. But surprise, learn something new, right? So, gonna definitely want to get more beet production going. And so you may not realize this, honey, but when I put stuff down, it's not for you to scratch around immediately and be in the way. Okay, let's not do that. Okay. But, so that's kind of my wish. So what about you, Shawnee? The fence area is definitely to keep things out. We have more deer in Michigan than people by like almost an order of magnitude. So it's really for the deer to keep them out of here. And that's the main one. Just there's so many deer around here. The other aspect too, though, is with my chickens. Now it's like 2 layers to keep them safe also, but it's mainly just for deer. That's what the fence is for. You know, it's not quite 6 foot. It's about 5, you know, it's just under 6 foot. And it's, you know, if the deer want to get in, they'll get in. But, you know, so far it's kept them out. They've got other stuff to chomp on around here, especially during the summer with all the farm fields and everything. But that's the big piece. The deer will come. They are basically like rats around this area. They are just awful. And the best place for deer is in my freezer. That's where we put that's the best spot for deer around here, is going to be in the freezer. All right, so let's go. We're going to load up get another load here. And the other thing too, right? So let's say you go through the motions and you start doing compost, right? And you're working on building out your soil and you're doing the stuff. Next question is like, Ryan, how deep should I get it? Don't worry about it. That's what I just tell folks. Just get the stuff down. Don't worry if you, I'm not going to be able to get 2 to 3 inches. Don't worry about that. Just get stuff, get it covered. Don't worry about it. Worrying is the number one destroyer of garden fun time. Okay, we don't do that. More perennials. Plum tree, hazelnut trees. There you go. That's the good stuff. What is, actually, hold on. Yeah, deer jerky's like the best. I don't know, was that aronia berry? I don't know that. What is that? I do not know that one. But perennials, yeah, perennials are great. I love perennials. I love the fact that you do work once and you're good for like 7-10 years or whatever that math works out to. Like, I'm a big fan of that. Zwink. Okay. Get this out of here. So much focus on Ryan today. Actually, all right, make sure. No, guys, I'm not opening the gate so you can make a run for it. Chicken, I swear, they want to be in the backyard. They want to be scratching around in all the grass and everything. Shrub. Okay, got you, chokeberry, okay. No, no berry bushes, no. Hey, Amy, welcome. No berry bushes. And it's purely because I can walk this direction, this direction. Currants would be good. Currants are one of those. There's a great video on YouTube about gooseberry currant war. Search for that, about why we don't have as many as currants aren't as popular in the U.S. as thing. There's a whole thing too about that. But I can walk anywhere and talk about berries. I got berries growing all over the place here. We got raspberries, blackberries. I mean, blueberries. I got wild blueberry plants around here, so there's no need to grow those. Nature's provided for us in this region, so you just got to go walk and harvest, you know, and go forage a little bit, and you can get it. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, research. Yeah, it's to find the stuff you want to do for sure. 100%. That's great. Woo. This stuff is looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Not bad for actually just ignoring it. I guess that's probably one of the better things too. You know, it's important to prune your plants, but it's also important just to leave them alone too. The same thing goes with a lot of the stuff we do in life. Sometimes you just don't need to worry about stuff. Just kind of let it happen, you know? All right. What good stuff today, man. This has been a good stream. I love having all these new faces on here. Love having all these new faces. Y'all are awesome. Learning all sorts of good stuff, too. Oh, how do I irrigate? Actually, I don't. If I need to, I just run the sprinklers and just kind of let them go, but I don't irrigate. It's nothing. We get rain all the time here. It's pretty consistent, and the soil, the way that I've built the soil up as well, it has a lot of organic matter, but also just the way that this, excuse me, what the heck are you doing there? Sorry. I retain a lot of moisture. I have good drainage, but I also retain a lot of moisture in the soil, so I can go, you know, quite a bit without rain. But all that being said, I do keep an eye on it. I do check it, and if it does look like I'm starting to dry up a bit, I just run the sprinklers. Because most everything I have here, I do not want you back in there. Go over there and die. Okay, you too. Bring your buddy. Take your friend with you. There we go. So yeah, I don't necessarily have to worry about irrigation here. Also, interesting piece about where I'm at in Michigan, our water table, like in the area we're at, we're actually under pressure. So I only have to go down maybe 20 feet and I'll start having water start coming up. We got a river that's over here, but it's elevated. Our area, because of the way that the basin system works, it's pushing all this water down into here, and what does make it in the river is there, but we actually have where things are pushed up. So we're technically under pressure too. So it's kind of, we always have water like available. Now our wells have to go down to get to clean water because of the iron content. Go down further than that, but about 20 feet, you start getting into, you know, decent amount of water. So we don't necessarily dry up that much. However, if you maintain your soil right, it will naturally hold on to water too. That's the other thing. Michigan is, yeah, 100%. Yeah, Michigan is far from Oregon. That's right. Yeah, I used to live in Spokane, so I'm kind of familiar with the area. My business partner, she was just down at the Gorge for a music festival. So, yeah, Oregon's pretty. Good stuff. All right, let's get this next one in here and keep on grinding here, folks. We're doing good work here, and we're making good progress today, guys. Good progress. That's what happens when you have an awesome chat, though. They make things go quicker. All right, get you here. So for those that are old like me, if you happen to be in the chat and you happen to be old, like I'm 47. Isn't this a way of entertainment and learning? And isn't this just better than what we had curated as like when we were kids and even younger on TV? Had to watch this certain thing, and this was always presented this way. It was one way. You only had to hear stuff. You didn't get to ask questions. I love this. I have not used alfalfa pellets or wood pellets in the garden. I have not. What's going on here? Oh. You being a nosy Parker? Yes, you are. Okay. Got one of my chickens getting ready to lay some eggs. Yeah, I have not. Wood pellets. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't say wood pellets, but I did put for my initial, because when I did move in here, I did actually obviously turn the soil over when I first moved, because this was just a lot. It was just grass. So I did turn the soil over, and when I did do that, I did put wood chips down, just because I wanted to get, because when I looked at the soil, it was in desperate need of, carbon. It needed an actual organic matter, so I did put that in there. So Yeah, exactly. So with this, I did put wood chips in, and so those are, I still do have some of those that are still hanging out, but we're into year 3 of those, and most of those have gone. All right. Let me do this because I'm going to dump this, but I want to get some stuff over here where I was at. There we go. And I'm going to just have some happy chickens too, because they're going to have all this compost to mess around with, dig through. So they're going to be happy with that. All right, now I can dump this. And again, this compost, like we were talking about before, for those that haven't been on the chat here too long, this isn't fully, fully developed compost, or it's in between. So it gets. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I won't tell the chickens they're cute. They get their ego going crazy when they hear that someone tells them that they're cute. They get all excited. So, well, I'll keep that in mind. We get down to 0. I'm -10, and I have stuff growing in the greenhouse all year. So, again, I have insulation around 3 sides of that greenhouse. When it gets really, really cold, I have foam insulation on 3/4 of the greenhouse. The south-facing side is open, but I'll put bubble wrap on there, a couple layers of it, to help with that. But if we're getting into February, I actually will reduce the amount of light coming in, and I'll add more foam on the inside, so that really I just have the southern-facing roof is there with bubble wrap to help maintain the temperature. But I have a heater too. As long as things stay above freezing, the stuff that I'm starting, they don't really care. It's a lot of the spring stuff. It just needs to germinate, and once it's there, it doesn't mind the cold temperatures. Like I said, I have stuff out in the garden, out here planted, out in the wild, starting in March, and it's below. It drops below freezing. Ooh. Uh-oh, I found an earthworm, so Honey just chomped it up. She's having a good day. So, all right, folks. So, hey, listen, I am going to call it here. This is going to be end of the stream here. So, I want to cover some of the stuff we talked about today and just the importance, just to kind of rehash here. We're in my garden. It's 25 by 50. Awesome. Thank you for that. And I'll let the chickens know as well. Off stream, I'll let them know that they're attractive. So, now with this, we have got, this is a 25 by 50 garden. It is, I tell you right now, it's just the right amount to produce for like me, my family, and some of my folks. So take care. Now with this, I've also got my chickens here. So what we did today was really a couple things, but the main thing we did here was getting our compost out here. Compost is a mixture of brown matter and green matter, which is your grass clippings, stuff that's in the garden what's green. You get your nitrogen, you're mixing it in with your brown matter, which is your carbon. There's water and other stuff, but you put them in there. And the goal here is to build up nutrients and organic matter with which would be aerobic bacteria. Right? That's the good bacteria. That's the stuff that you want. And that's really the goal here, to get this out here for that aspect. And it is a mulch to cover the soil. Your soil needs to be covered at all times to help it to make sure it is safe, it is healthy, and it protects the bacteria that are in the soil, okay? That's really what we're doing here. As you can see, it's October, and I still have some stuff that's green. Got my celery over here, and it's growing and living its best life. So with that, hopefully I earned your subscription today, folks. It was great having everybody on. This is a fun stream, a lot of good comments in there. So with that, take care, and I'll see you next time.